We are live. We are alive on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, we are all good this time and we have no technical problems. I was just messing around with things, to be honest with you. Let me just move that up there. There we go. Look at that fancy little Send It logo at the top. Send it to Scandi. Coming up soon. Hello to everyone. Hopefully, you are all doing all right on this Tuesday evening. How are you all doing? We are live, yes, we certainly are, Ben. And hopefully it's going to be a good one. So yeah, let's get straight on with things. How is everyone doing? Let me know how you are doing in the chat. I did put up a little poll, whatever you want to call it. Depends how posh you are. I put a little poll at the top right for you to click on and let me know what you think. Will this cold spell be a flop or will it come off properly? I do apologise about the messy chat at the top. We've had a few trolls in, but we've cleared out the chat. Cheers to James and the other mods for sorting it out. Hello to plenty of you in here as well. It's really nice to see. It's a decent enough stream today. I've got the Send It mug on the go as well. So we're all sorted, aren't we? I'm just looking at the results, actually, of the poll. Will we see another cold flop? 75% of you, 76% of you say yes. Wow, that's a really high amount. Well, boo to you. We want it to be a hit. That's right, Danny V. We want a hit on the cold. So we'll hopefully unleash it right now. Let's look at all the latest data. I'll run through the chat and we'll talk about a few things as well. Upcoming things for the channel. Have a nice chilled stream. You're not late, Thomas. We're only a minute in. You're all good. We had a brilliant live stream last week as well, and we had a good members live stream at the weekend after the technical difficulties. So hopefully we should be good to go. 100 votes on that. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Let me just remove this chat so it's not too messy, unless you want me to leave the live chat on, but I'll probably remove it like that so you can see everything. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? So let's get the grow of Send It. It's crazy. It really is. It really is crazy, to be honest, but I really do appreciate it. Anyway, let's move on and let's bring up the first chat. Of course, I'll have a little read through the chat as we go along. Then we'll see. We will be having a look. Bilal, hopefully I've said that correct. Bilal, after the possible cold snap, will we possibly get SSW afterwards? Very good possibility. We'll look at the latest. Jack Lowe, hey Matthew, very windy in the Cambrian Mountains today. Let's hope it's going to go cold soon. Yes, let's hope it does. Let me just make sure everything's in line, because, you know, I'm prepared. We've got already 100 of you in here, which is pretty incredible, considering we only started a couple of minutes ago. Just making sure everything's in line, so apologies about me flicking around with tabs. Well, we've got 100 already. That's pretty amazing. Just moving things around. So this is the GFS, there you go. And we'll look at all of the data to see what is being shown today. Remember, if you are new to the channel, consider leaving a like. We are only 6 subscribers away from 3,800. So consider subscribing if you enjoy the channel. And I've got all the links down below if you want to support the channel and all that good stuff. As far as I know, and I'm sure I've got the moderators on the chat leaving links to the Discord server if you want to chat in the community. I'll have a quick sip of tea and then I'll have a read through the chat. We'll go on with some model data and see what is being shown on potential cold and snow developments. It's good when you make one yourself, and it's good, isn't it? Right. Let's have a flick through. Right, the chat is very busy, so if I do miss anyone, again, I do apologise. But yeah, we've got plenty of you in here. Got Training It, shows Zaki Negan. I hope I've said that right. Soft Shallow, Best Crazy Boy, of course. I'm with the trolls, that's funny. Exploring the Outdoors, -10 in Scotland, possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Hello to Laura Hare as well. What a name. Tom J, is this live or live? Come on, man. I am not pre-recording my videos. Who does that? All my videos are unscripted, by the way. I do edit them if I cough or something like that. That's when I edit them. Hello to Transport Manchester as well. Nice to see you in here. Mohammed as well. Metsuit. I'm not going to do the voices. Ben Ent is in here as well. Chris Grayson, back from Carlisle, hello to you. Jacob Element, models don't have a clue, they really don't. Matthew Dover, Just Dandy, or Dandy. Trust Zone Dog Training, hello to you. Matt Smith says evening to you. Hopefully we can get some snow down to you as well. Moonchild, who's not far from me, hello to you. Hopefully we can get some snow as well. We're a bit more favoured than in the south. Dippy Fish as well. Jodie's in as well. Wow, got plenty of names. New names as well. Really good to see. Will's in the chat. Hello to everyone. Ryan Royal. All right, everyone. Hey up. Could Cornwall get some flakes on Sunday? Not out the question. Let's see what's being shown. Lorenzo, any snow for Swindon? Yeah. Thomas, I think Matthew might still have a few in stock. What's that about? The mug. Yes, I do actually. I do still have a mug. If you have Discord, James can put the link, and I've still got a couple left if you do want one. You'll tear a lot. I've only got 3 left. Hello to Jodie. Beans on toast as well. SJT, evening all, bring on the snow, yeah. Hopefully Birmingham gets absolutely after this gold snow, hopefully, yeah. Winds are transferring, yeah, they certainly are moving around, that's for sure. Winds are transferring to the east. Yeah, if you do have a Discord link, I'll get in contact with you. Jack and Thomas as well. If you Thomas is Malawi, what a fan as well. They're brilliant. They've been on the chat last few weeks. It's been really good to see names. East Sussex, good call. Right, anyway, let's see what the GFS is showing to start with. This is the American model run, usually considered the least trusted. I didn't say that, not me. Let's get straight on. As we all know, lower pressure is trying to move in from off the Atlantic. It is stalling as higher pressure builds up towards Scandinavia. Scandinavian high, my favourite pattern, brings in a yeasterly wind. If you know, you know. You can see colder airs filtering into northeastern Europe, so parts of Norway, Denmark, Sweden. The UK is protected from the cold by the mild Atlantic for the time being. So you can see through Thursday into Friday, areas of low pressure are pushing in from off the Atlantic. Looks very stormy, by the way, on Friday. Uncertainty on the track and positioning of this low, as well as the intensity. A lot of uncertainty on this low on Friday. This could bring some disruption, very windy weather, wet and windy weather, particularly to southwestern regions, southwest Wales, parts of Cornwall, Devon, and the like, and parts of southern parts of the Republic of Ireland as well. Wind gusts possible of up to 70 to 80 miles an hour along exposed coast, so there might be some warnings issued for that. And of course, associated heavy rain. As you can see, that's going to stick around the country, but we're in a weird pattern where the Azores High, which is out to the west of the UK, usually it's positioned over the top of the UK, or just to the south. As you can see, it's positioned further southwest, and the black line is the jet stream. That's what carries the low pressure systems in. But as you can see, that the rough position of the jet stream is down towards the south of Spain, which is why low pressure systems are on a northwest-southeast line. They're getting carried southwards, which allows, as we see, heights to the north building. So area of low pressure kind of gets stuck over the top of the UK and drags southwards. And behind it, we're dragging colder air in by the weekend. See, winds turn into an easterly direction for northern England. Further south is a lot more tentative. But that could bring some snow to central northern Britain if this came off. But let's see what happens beyond that, because that's when the real interest happens. Again, we see that pattern of low pressure systems moving towards that cold block, which still remains around Greenland. Low pressure's pushing in, and as it moves in, it is weakening and sliding southwards. So next week, we could see we could see some big snow events with this. You can see cold air wrapped in, areas of low pressure bumping into that cold air, and we could see some big snow events with this. A big area of low pressure moves in from the west by the 29th and 30th. Unfortunately for the southerners and probably central England like me, cold rain. Northern England into parts of Aberdeenshire and northern Scotland, maybe even the central belt, heavy snow. That, again, though, is a long way off and unreliable. After that, the wind backs into a northerly direction. We all turn cold again with more wintry risks. Again, that's just one model run and might change. Let's see what the run looks like. Remember, don't take this as a forecast. Take this as a potential guide. So, let's see what it is showing. Let's see what says W has been looking very interested. I will show it off. I will show it off later on in the stream suit after I've run through all the chats. Thank you to Roy Sargerson for subscribing. I do appreciate it. I always say that, don't I? But yeah, there you go. It's just popped up. Thank you for subscribing. Almost together. I really want to see snow make a memory with my gremlin nieces, as tomorrow for me is not a guarantee. Cancer shows you what's important, and people look out for our elderly. Certainly, yes. That is a very valuable message, I should say. Definitely. Yeah. Zippy the parrot said hello to Pigeon. He's up there. He's up there making his noise. All I can see is a cold snap. Yeah, well, again, can't say anything beyond 5 days, to be honest. However, as you'll see from this GFS run, this is what it shows. So, very wet and windy weather moving in from the west. Over your highest ground of the Republic of... the Republic of Ireland. You can see over the southern parts, it is turning wintrier. Wintry? There you go. And as we move through, you can see that area of rain moving up from the south, turning readily to snow over northern England, southern Scotland, maybe the central belt, rain, sleet, snow mix through Friday into Saturday. See plenty of snow showers packing into Scotland. But as we go through Sunday, as the colder air mass sinks southwards, you can see those showers turn into snow across parts of the Midlands, central southern England with this run. Plenty of showers packing into eastern and northeastern regions, northeast Aberdeenshire and the like, your usual suspected areas. Maybe a couple down southeast England, but not indicated here. They could bring a couple of centimetres in places. This run is different to the predecessor run. Area of low pressures moving in from off the Atlantic. As it bumps into the cold air across northwest Wales, northwest England, central England, into the West Midlands, and for parts of the Yorkshire Dales, does turn to rain, sleet and snow. A very messy picture. As it clears again, though, to the southeast, it's dragging colder air with it, so all precipitation on the back edge by choosing to Wednesday, the 28th of January, turns to snow. Then we get a big event, which is an area of low pressure trying to dislodge the cold air, and that turns readily to snow for central northern England. Actually quite a big event there. Extending as far southwards as the South Midlands there. Maybe as far south as Leicestershire, Lincolnshire, for example. Maybe getting into East Anglia just about. But as it moves northwards again, that boundary moves northwards with it. So the snow becomes restricted to the highest routes across northern Scotland, Yorkshire Dales and the Pennines. But again, as that moves through and clears to the east, we can see that showers do turn back to snow on the back edge of that. But again, don't take that as a forecast. It is a long way off in this sort of pattern. So as usual, unreliable. More snow for James, probably. Almost together, I hope you get your wish. Have a great time with your snow gremlin. Yes, certainly. Certainly do. Quite warm to very cold could shock many. It certainly could. Today, what is it today? 7 degrees. Yeah. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's not been ridiculously warm, has it? It's not been a mild month, that's for sure. I can tell you that for certain. Should we look at the other runs then and see how they compare? So that's just one run. Let's see how the GM compares. This is the one which has been very pessimistic against cold throughout the whole time. James Shed, main suspect. Haha. Fisk says, good evening, all open it snow soon. I'm sure a lot of people do in this chat, Fisk. I know a few don't, but there you go. Anyway. Atlantic trying to move in through this week. By Friday, areas of low pressure are beginning to weaken and being sent southwards, with the jet stream very wet and windy through the latter part of this week, Friday into Saturday for the southwest. As that low pressure system clears southwards, do drag in some slightly colder air, or less mild air, I suppose. Northern Scotland and northern England turns colder, but cold air doesn't really get into any further south. This area of low pressure is too far north. It needs to be sent further southwards to drag in a proper yeasterly wind. We're in from a southeasterly, which is it's colder, or excuse me, it's cooler, but it's not cold. We need a proper easterly to tap into any cold air, and we're not, because this area of low pressure is too far northwards. We need to send it southwards, which we're not doing here. That allows the Atlantic to try and roll in. Doesn't really do a great job at it, but it does turn it milder, besides the far north, which of course would see plenty of snow with that. But a bit of a write-off from the GEM run today. Not great. I've got to be honest, it's not been great for the last few days. Hopefully, apparently the most reliable one, the ECM, can save the day. What's the bet? Will it save the day or not? I've just checked the winds on the GFS run. It was showing me 90 miles an hour gusts. For me, that's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Won't look at it too closely at this stage, but definitely going to be very windy. particularly south and southwestern areas, I'd say. Maybe even south coast, Isle of Wight. But I don't think it'd reach that far southeast. Maybe. It has a different track to some of the other runs. But, again, can't be discounted. Right, moving on to the ECM. Again, areas of low pressure trying to move in from the west. Big stormy system on Friday into Saturday, early hours of Saturday for the south and southwest again. Might be an amber warning with that. Looks quite stormy and it stalls, but as it stalls, it's moving southwards and as higher pressure still evident up to the north, this looks a lot better compared to the midnight run. It brings in a proper easterly sea. That's what you want. Areas of low pressure sliding southwards and we drag in the wind from an easterly direction. So turning colder for all with this run actually, not just the south. Brief ridge builds through the country, but again we're sending low pressure systems southwards with the jet stream. -10 line into the east of England. That looks quite cold actually. An area of low pressure is bumping into that cold air, and that would be quite snowy on its leading edge. Again, plenty of snow risks with that actually. Plenty of wintry hazards possible. An area of low pressure sliding southwards on the 27th could bring some snow on its leading edge to the west and southwest of the country. With those air masses around, those cold air masses around, there you go. Pretty cold across all areas, so nothing marginal about that. So pretty interesting from the ECM today. If we have a look, which we can do, I think, at the ECM operational run and see what precipitation is like. This is supposedly the reliable run. I'm going to switch websites because it won't work on there. There you go. Switching websites to WX charts, which I have used a few times before. 200 viewers, wow. Pretty big stream, thanks all. Have we reached our goal yet? If we have a really cold winter, does it mean we will have a hotter than hot summer? Are we on a downturn where long hot summers are concerned? That's a good question, Matt. I can think of one notable example, and again, I know some people will be annoyed that I'm bringing this up, but the Beast from the East, 2018, had a very cold spell, as many of you'll know, end of Feb, start of March, and it also had another cold spell throughout the middle part of March, which many people seem to forget, but it was very extreme as well through the second half of March as well. That period was followed by a very hot summer. So that is something to think about. So it's a tough one. That's the most recent one I can think of off the top of my head. 2021 was a cold winter, technically. Was it? I'm not sure, actually. I can't remember. Someone fact-check me. I actually can't remember 2021. Was that a mild winter? Am I in a mild summer? Hot summer? 2018 was definitely... So it can happen. Definitely, Matt. It's a good, very good question. Of course, any event's not dependent on the next happening, but it can be seen to do it. Just got a place to do A-level math, physics, and geography. Nice one, Crift. That's really good to hear. I'm glad that you've done that. Very hot summer for about 5 days, yeah. Yeah. I'll quickly run through this ECM and I might cover that again a little bit more. Nice to see, though, Crift, that you've got your A-levels. One of the thing is to get done, because obviously I did that a few years ago as well. I did, well, a lot of you will know what I did. Right, anyway. So, let's look at this ECM run. Again, let's skip to around Friday. That deep area of low pressure slide into the southwest of the UK, but it kind of stalls because it's not really getting shoved southwards by anything. You can see we get the easterly winds in, so some showers beginning to turn wintry in the east and northeast. Lots of rain, sleet and snow mixing, but I reckon a lot of this will be snow with some cold air aloft. So expect a couple of coverings along the northeast again, like we saw a few weeks ago. They've been doing really well in the east and the northeast for snow this year, better than usual. We get that weather front trying to move in from the west. The GFS brings it towards the UK. The ECM doesn't; it weakens it away. But then we get an area of low pressure moving in from the west, a bit of a weather front, preceding weather front, and that turns to snow across the Midlands north. Plenty of snow risk there. Then a Northern England snow event before it does turn colder again into long term, and again more wintry risks are definitely possible. Bit of a trash run today from the ECM, I must say, but it does have a few snow events there. You can see extending as far southeast as London with the ECM on the 29th of January, Thursday next week. Again, uncertain on the exact developments, but probably a bit of snow for central England there, maybe into the East Midlands. So could be interesting, I suppose, but again, it's a long way off. So yeah, Hello to B Nizzy York in the chat. Hello to Weather God as well. I know you. We are learning about the beast from the east in GCSE and geography. No wonder I got a 9. Nice one. And grade 9. Yeah, that's pretty good. 1994 was really bad, Northwest England. 1987 was also bad. There's quite a few. Not a hot summer, I'm mentally scarce in 2022. Yeah, that was a pretty bad one, wasn't it? How's the strat looking? We're going to look at that dodgy... Oh, remember that name as well. Dodgy Banana. Yeah, we'll have a look at the latest from the GFS run, which is the American run, which has been the one to raise a few eyebrows, that's for sure. A lot of people are interested in this as well. 87, I was -1. Yeah, I wasn't even... Well, you gotta go about 20 years ahead. So, yeah. 2010 was the biggest snow I remember. A lot of people obviously remember 2010. I don't. I was about 2 years old. So how would I remember that? But yeah, a lot of people have fond memories of 09, 10, and 10, 11 as well. Anyway, let's have a look at the polar vortex. So big blue and purple is the polar vortex at its roots. This is the thing which usually powers up the jet stream, brings us the Atlantic systems. We have the stratosphere and the troposphere. Effects of the stratosphere can have an impact on the troposphere, basically meaning warming happens in the stratosphere can propagate down to lower levels in the atmosphere, so affecting our weather. That's the general gist of it. That's the basic, simplified way that I try and explain it. So basically, we're focusing on a warming across Siberia. This is the polar vortex, kind of displaced at the moment over Greenland, over the stratosphere. Now, as you can see, that warming begins to intensify over to the west towards Alaska and Canada, and this is putting pressure towards the polar vortex. When you've got two lobes of warmer pressure moving towards that cold lobe, it's beginning to stretch it. Now, what we're looking for is a split, which is where one lobe goes into Canada, one lobe goes into Europe. That's considered usually a sudden stratospheric warming. That can have impacts on weather around the world, can cause colder weather in the UK, increases your chances, which is why so many people are interested in it. As we go beyond, you can see that warming begins to intensify over the southwest up towards, well, between Canada and Greenland. So as it pushes towards the polar vortex, eventually, I'm not sure if this would be a split, but it does split into two lobes, and it is a significant warming. You can see that one lobe's gone down into Spain, in the stratosphere, one lobe's up towards the North Pole. So that's a split. That's technically probably a sudden stratospheric warming, with this warming in the middle. However, as you can see into the longer term, it looks like it's going to reform, and that warming's getting pushed back towards Siberia. The polar vortex is fighting it. Now, could this have an impact on our weather? Yes, it certainly can. Remember, if we do see some sort of event with the strats, so a sudden stratospheric warming, raising the zonal winds from west to east, or east to west, I can't remember. But if you reverse it from one wind to another, it can change things. So we have a lag time of 2 weeks. So if it happened, for example, a strat warming happened on the 7th of February, we could see impacts from around the 21st. There's about a 2 to 3 week lag time typically. That's what you've got to watch out for. So yeah, pretty interesting charts, I must say. That looks really interesting. It does look quite interesting, for sure. On that one, if we have a look at the 6Z, can I do that on here? I'm not sure. I can look at the ensembles. I'll look at a couple. I'm not looking at them all. I'll have a look at a couple runs to see what they are showing for the polar vortex. This is the mean, by the way. So this is averaging out every single run in the GFS. This is the GEFS. So every single run that you see from 1 to 30, there's 32 of them, every single run is in this chart. So this gives you an idea of what the general play is. What the general is play. So we've got the polar vortex and its roots. This is 192 hours. This is around the end of January, 29th of Jan. What we're looking for, as you can see, is there's a warming to the north and a warming to the south. If that pushes towards the polar vortex and begins to stretch it, then we could see a split. Let's see what it's showing here. This is the average, by the way. That is interesting because one lobe goes up towards Canada, the other lobe, non-existent. It weakens that much. So, would that be a strat warming? You can see one of the lobe that does break it at some point. However, the main brunt of the polar vortex is still formed together. This is the mean, though. So there's going to be some runs which are really extreme, breaking up this lobe. There's going to be some which are not breaking them up at all. And we see no reversal. So, therefore, it's a split picture, is what I'd say. Little bit too far out to say. If we have a look at a couple of runs, you might see it warming towards Siberia. You can see that one doesn't split it. Stays together. Number 2, I'm just looking at a few, just to give you a general gist. Number 2 splits it. One lobe goes to the south, one lobe goes to the north. One lobe is up to the North Pole, one lobe is in the North Atlantic, in the stratosphere. That's a split, because you've sent them in 2 directions, and that is a sudden stratospheric warming. That's what you're looking for. So you can tell the difference. It's marginal. Run number 3 holds it together just about. Run number 4 splits it in half. That is a major warming. That is a major one. That's what you're looking for. One lobe split, one lobe goes in the other direction, splitting it apart. That is what you're looking for. Putting pressure with the warmer air over the near continent towards the polar vortex, shoving that milder air and forcing it to break down to split. That is what you are looking for a proper strat warming. Hopefully I've explained it enough, so we'll see. How often do we get 2 sudden stratospheric warmings in one winter? Quite rare, but it does happen sometimes. Lewis Plays, hello to you. My computer is fine. My TV is driving me mad. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Very difficult to say. Certainly is, Tim's. It's a very uncertain picture, as is usual with the UK. One thing to consider, though, is the Ensemble. So let's take a look at Birmingham, to see what we are looking at. This is the 850 HV temperatures for the next couple of weeks, and I'll zoom this in for you so you can see it better. Have we reached 3.8k yet? I've just seen a donation come in. Thank you to... let me see. Where's it gone? I've just seen a donation come through. Thank you to Welsh Wing for super chatting. Not sure why that didn't pop up. Between Swansea and Clonelly, we had snow earlier. Welsh Wing 98, thank you very much for your super chat. Yeah. I was just going to say it didn't pop up before. But as you can see, so we're starting off above average with the upright temperatures for Birmingham at the moment. But around the 24th of January, we do see a dip. -5 line is the threshold for colder weather. And with the GFS ensembles, good solid support for temperatures to begin to drop. As you can see, the red line is the 30-year upright temperature average for Birmingham, which is around -1. We are down to around -6. Oh, don't say it. We're down to around -6.2, all right? Not the number which I was about to say because I'd have been bloody messaged in the comments. Anyway, you knew what I was going to say. So, we're looking below average from the end of Jan to the start of Feb with this. We're looking pretty good. GFS operational run, up and down, highlighting the uncertainty. We've got some colder runs down here and some less cold runs up here. So, uncertain picture. One thing to look at is the snow row. Of course, don't take these values too... I knew that was going to happen, see? I knew that was going to happen in the chat. Ah, oh, dearie me. Well, at least it gets the interaction on the chat going, gets the stream recommended. That's the snow row for Birmingham. That's the snow row for Birmingham. We've got a few spikes there. You might have expected a few more, but that's not too bad. About 40% chance with that. Looking at that, looking further south to London. Oh, well, London, you're not getting it this time. No, I'm joking. It's a little bit far out. It's a little bit far out. But yeah, it's a little bit... Dodgy, I've just seen your message. Bit far out to say, but yeah. You know, don't take these snow spikes as gospel or out like that because it's a long way off. ECM is just about coming out. Let's see what that's showing. 102 hours, it's at -1.4 comparing to the previous update. I know you can't see it. 116, -1.8. So, bit of a downgrade so far, but that means nothing because we're not even out to the time frame yet. But we will have a look at that at the end of the video to see if we are seeing a downgrade or an upgrade. A lot of people have been talking about the ECM AIFS and have been tagging me in it to ask me my thoughts, which is nice of you all to do. Yeah, that's the Yorkshire coming out. That's the Yorkshire coming out, that one. There's at least... yeah, of course there is, yeah. Jesus What have I done? What have I done here? This is the one which everyone's been yapping at me about, though. I don't mean that in a bad way. Yes, it is Gen Alpha. Yeah. Well, this is very for coldies because the AIFS is the ECM Artificial Intelligence. Boo, AI, boo. We don't like it. It's rubbish. Get out of the room. But you can see, brief cold snap around the 26th of Jan. Sorry, everyone, I'm in a silly mood. And then after that, around average temperatures. Lot of scatter in there. Lot of milder runs, lot of colder runs, lot of scatter. So, the way I'd put it is undetermined. It's a bit, you can't really make a forecast out of that. There's too much uncertainty and it's only grew with the runs. The midnight run, slightly below average, cold clustering of runs. 12Z run, the latest, still that cold cluster of runs, more milder runs, bigger spread of data. Uncertainty is the main word. Dodgy, why? Why did you look it up? It's awful. I'm not saying it, Brandon, because everyone will start. Yeah, I just looked it up. I sent it away due an ice age here in Devon. I wish you were. Tickety Boo, what a name, by the way. Tickety Boo, I like that. But I would say, unfortunately, not this time. However, you can't be too sure. You can't be too sure. Great and brilliant channel, thanks, Chris. I do appreciate it. We do have a laugh sometimes, don't we? We do have a bit of a giraffe, especially when there's cold on the cars. You know, everyone gets excited then. I know a chart that'll get you excited if you're into cold. 1 minute, let me bring it up. Let him cook, as they say. Down with the kids. Let him cook. Let me find it really quick. This was the This was the let me see if I can find it now. The midnight run, here you go. This was the 6Z GFS, this was the previous run. Amok's collapsed, yeah, it's dead. It's fell apart. This was the previous run. Let him go. What's the chance of snow down Cornwall? Deep breaths. Dartmoor, 60%. Everywhere else, 10%. There you go. Later on, though, Thursday into Friday, 50%. There you go. That's your chances. Chances increase as we go through this cold spell next week, Brandon, especially down south. At the start, it's more likely northern areas, northeast England, East England, parts of Aberdeenshire, maybe parts of Northern Ireland. Later on, south might come into play a little bit more. Might see some channel lows, might see some short notice events, which could be interesting. Thing is, this pattern doesn't look particularly cold at this stage. It might change over the next few days, but there are a lot of low pressures mixing with cold air or colder air that can produce a lot of snow at times, and that is something the models will hopefully pick up on over the next few days. Could see some really big interesting developments over the next few days. Might not be the coldest spell in history, but it might have a lot of snow in it for some certain areas. Can't pinpoint them at this stage, but this is just an example. This is the GFS 6 the previous run from today. Travelling up to Scotland to see a pal now. I'm having second thoughts. Well, I can tell you that James, the moderator James, has a big shed, and he'll get about, well, let's think. We had 90 centimetres a couple of weeks ago, so I'd say, let me think. Probably going to get another at least 10 to 20. If you're over high at ground, 100 metres or so, 200 metres elevation, definitely. There you go. Right, this is an example of what might happen next week. This is Tuesday the 27th of Jan. Again, not a forecast, but it could happen. Positioning of low, sliding through the southwest of the UK, sort of in this direction, northwest-southeast alignment. And on the northern edge, got some colder air wrapped in from the northeast, from the east. And you can see central northern Midlands, snow. Southeast England, heavy rain. So, just shows you how marginal it is. Lots of rain, sleet, snow. Obviously, elevation will help there, if this is how it plays out. You can see some snow for northeast England, parts of central England, as far west as Manchester with that one. Quite heavy snow. Could bring accumulation in places. You can see continued snow showers, and as we move beyond that, colder air again with this run digs back in, and you can see the snow risk transfers to the southeast as that low pressure clears eastwards, carrying showers with it. Get a few showers across northeast England, southeast England. Scotland gets battered everywhere they go. No, Scotland is actually a little bit drier than you might expect. There's a few snow showers around, but It's not as snowy as you might expect. Into the longer term, you can see it turns quite wintry at times. For Scotland, with low pressure systems moving up from the southwest, bringing milder air or less cold air. But of course, again, it's a long way off and very unreliable. So a lot going on. I love your lives. They're really good. Thank you, Weather God. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I try and explain. Just to hit Mrs. Cooks, I'm about to influence the jet stream in a general direction. Gaz. I don't feel so good. Just let it out. I'm sure she won't mind, you know. I'm sure it'll be okay. Shy says, where's my snow? We've just looked at it, Shy. You got snow there. Might get some on at the weekend, you never know. A couple of wintry flurries. A couple of snowflakes for you up there. Might need them. That's what you are. Anyway, sorry. Hopefully no one got that one. You trying to say beast from the east without it sounding like you're saying yeast, lols. Well, for some reason, right, in this chat, not sure when it was, someone said that I said yeast, right? And every time, everyone likes to comment yeast in my comment section, so I like to reference it a couple of times. So that's why I say yeast sometimes, which is a bit annoying. Don't blame me, blame the chatters in here. 162 of you. I say yeast, yeah, it must be. I said it by mistake once, and everyone jumped on it. It was like, I don't know, it's like a war going on in my chat. Yeast, he said yeast, oh my goodness me. The city would grind to a halt with them all in panic. Yeah, they certainly would if there was some snow in London. Proper snow in London. Not piddly little centimetre of snow. Some like 5 centimetres. You'd never see. The headlines would be crazy if that if that happened. Britain to get fisted by 1 centimetre snow bomb to hit London. City grinds to halt. Nothing goes on. Imagine that. Probably has happened before. One of the headlines has probably said that before. So maybe. Mate, Sue, right, you are banned. Just the dusting, haven't had snow yet, yeah. Grinds to a halt 1 flake. Certainly does. Depends on where you are, though. Yeah. Tell you what, 1 centimetre and it's carnage. Exactly, see, I know these things. This is the thing which is quite funny. I did want to say one thing, by the way. I've had a few people in my comments saying something like, well, your forecasts have always been wrong. But then, who predicted the last cold spell right, by the way? Me. That's who. So, I'm not sure where people get the information. They like to have little digs, but I don't mind. It's alright. It adds to the algorithm, doesn't it? You know, gets more of you to watch the videos. But it's just funny. Funny reading some of the comments I get. It's quite interesting. On weather channels, what comments you do see here and there. That's just part of the trade, I suppose. But yeah, that's what happens, innit? It's what happens, innit? This chat's been pretty good though today. So it's interesting. Is the yeast from the beast colder than the beast from the yeast? Yeah, it is. I'd rather watch you than the pros. Cheers. Ignore the haters. To be fair, I don't get many. The few and far between. And most of you, 95% of you are really good, so I don't really have to intervene. It's only when James tells me. Exactly. You're all saying the right things in the chat, definitely. Even into Andrew Cummings as well. I knew you did message me as well. Guys, I'm not reading that out loud. Oh my word. I've just steamed up my glasses now with that. No, there's a few, to be fair. There's a few, but most of them are banned anyway because they're all losers. Cup of tea's gone cold now. I need another one. I need another cup of tea. But yeah. Nah, bro, he's too goated. I'm the GOAT, greatest of all time. No, I'm not at all. Definitely not, that's for sure. Have we hit 3.8k? Yes, we just hit 3.8k. 3.8k subs just been hit now. I knew you would say that. Thanks for 3.8k, everyone. That means we've gained 800 subs in the last month. So that's pretty good going, isn't it? I'm from Melton Mowbray. Oh, is that down southwest? I think it is, isn't it? Am I right? Hopefully. Or is that southeast? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. Most only see the jet stream from 2D maps. In 3D, the jet goes up and down too. It certainly does. It's wavy. It's like this. Woo! It's like a snake moving up and down. Yeah. Bro is... Okay. Jacob. But he's... Yeah. I'm from Metal Mowbray. Yeah, cheers. Cheers for the messages in the chat. Really nice to see. Let's have a look at the AI run. Let's have a look at this absolute abomination of a run. Let's see events that will happen. Not happening. Guaranteed, right? Watch this. Alright. This is where everyone leaves a sigh of doubt, alright? This is where that 6-7 votes have got... Oh, no, it was 76. Not... Oh, no. Oh, no. I've just read it. Why have I read it as... Oh, no. Do not. Low pressure slide into the southwest of the U. I've just seen. I've read it wrong. Oh no. Low pressure slide into the southeast of the country. Winds are switching to an easterly direction into Saturday. It's turning colder for all. Winds in from an easterly direction. Low pressure's trying to move in from the west into that cold air block, and it's turning things, well, slightly less cold, I suppose, from the west. So not as good for coldest there. So it would have a bit of a transition event there. Probably snow to rain, clearing that away. Oh, no, I'm just seeing the chat. Why? Why, Jacob? Why? But yeah, turning milder very quickly. A big low pressure system moves in from off the Atlantic and turns things very unsettled at this point. And everyone's depressed again. Yay! Back to the typical westerly flow that we are accustomed to in this country. Looks like they're all wobbling again, more to mild, especially here in the south. In the south is very touch and go. Further north... Further north is less marginal. It looks more likely. Further south, not great. So the south! Meme reset hasn't hit send it yet. Beast from the west. Just check my live radar. Big squall line. Yeah, it does look quite wet and windy weather moving in. Doesn't hurt your brain when you say those words. You know you're doing wrong. Yeah, I think you'll do a great job with a good job with the forecast. I'm sure Michael Fish would agree. He got a few wrong, including a biggie. Oh, the 1987 storm. Is that what I'm thinking about? The hurricane? Is that the one? Oh, I've read enough about that. Yeah, cheers. I do appreciate it. I try my best. Why is everyone coming up with their own terms here? Unrealistic. Not gonna lie. Yeast sound better. Got the yeast in. 19... I can't even get my numbers right here. Apologies, I'm late. Hello to you, Shaz. Hopefully you're alright. Hopefully you're well, you've just joined. You're enjoying the stream. And we are still going, just about hanging on. 3.8k subs. Let's see if we can get to 4k by the end of January. We've got 10 days to go at it. 10 subs a day to average. Let's see if we can do it. Let's get a start today. Let's gain 50 subscribers. How many likes are we up to right now? 102. 150. Come on. 150 likes on this stream. Get it shared out to your friends. And get them to subscribe. As well. So, yeah. I think it was 1967. Don't worry off you, mate. Yeah, I'm doing brilliant. I'm doing alright, aren't I? I'm doing alright. Especially this month as well. So... yeah, don't need to change. Never going to change. I'm never going to change. Can't change me. People, you need to change who you are. No, I am Send It. It's my channel. Run your own channel. Do what you want to do. I'll run my channel. You run your channel. And it's a win-win, isn't it? Simple as that, isn't it, really? Jesus. Anyway, right. Enough waffling. Sorry, everyone. Enough waffling. Let's have a look at the at this. Should we have a look at the CFS, right? This is the worst model in the world, but let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. How's about that? Right, move that down. NL's got channels. Remember, a few mistakes gets your chat buzzing. Exactly. Gets the comments rolling. Gets the algorithm talking. At least my videos are natural. Most of them aren't pre-recorded, and they're not scripted. So things will go wrong sometimes. But I think that's better. I used to walk 54 miles in the snow, shoeless, to collect my double apple Lost Marys. You kids don't know. Well, you don't. I don't. I think the worst I've done was walk to school with my mum about 10 years ago when my school was open. See, ours was a proper primary school. It kept open the whole time. It never shut. Once you got to secondary school, though, it did shut with about 1 centimetre on the ground. This is the CFS, the Can't Forecast Snow model. Let's see what it's showing. This is an experimental run, so don't expect all bells and whistles with this one. Excuse me. But winds drag into an easterly direction by Sunday, turning colder further north before turning colder for all by Monday. Beyond that, colder air stays in before higher pressure builds over the top of the UK, before returning to the south, turning milder. Look at the brutal cold plunge there through Eastern Europe by the 31st of January. Look at that. That is what you call a beast from the east. But it's not a beast from the east, it's a beast from the north. For parts of Eastern Europe with that one, that would be plunged into the freezer, and the UK on the periphery as normal, probably cold and frosty. Atlantic reigns supreme with this though. Low pressure moving in from the west, heights trying to rise up to the northeast, but don't really make too much of it. Eventually into the end of the month, higher pressure does return to the north, brings in an easterly airflow. Not too much cold air around, but might bring the risk of some rain, sleet and snow. And then beyond that, we are turning drier again with heights building up to the northwest. Another cold plunge, of course, into the start of March, when we don't want the cold air, as usual. And, yeah, it's pretty chilly there at the end. So that's a channel low on the 11th of March, of course. Get all the excitement in the middle of March. Brilliant. When everyone wants to try and get on with their days and get to work and stuff. And we have snow bombs in March, which don't really come to much. So, yeah, it's pretty annoying, isn't it? The CFS does go into summer. I know it does. Why can't we name other than storms? I'd love a period of sunshine, yeah. Unrealistic, but yeah, I just thought it'd be funny to show you the CFS because it's absolutely awful. Do you see the Channel Islands getting any snow? I must admit, very unlikely. Very unlikely. But not impossible. Usually, we need proper cold to move down from the south. Looking at this, Michael Stevenson, not looking good. Just ordinary cold for the south as usual. Does not mean it's a done deal. Means it might change. It's a long way off. And we're looking at the latest to see what they are showing. So, again, it might change tomorrow. It might be a completely different picture. Might be bitterly cold tomorrow. Might be -10 line and the whole country's snowed in. Who knows? Might have turned mild. I hope not, because none of them are mild. So, it shouldn't be mild. But yeah, again, it might change. But to be fair, it's not looking that bad to me. I don't mind the cold, but some clear skies would be nice. I like seeing like the frosty mornings. So that, I'd like to see that. Yeah, definitely. Frosty mornings are nice. Cold frosty mornings, crisp mornings. If it's not snow, it's frosty. It's quite nice, isn't it? Apart from black ice, worst thing ever invented. That causes issues. That's worse than snow. Black ice really does cause some issues. That if you step on that, you are a goner. Saw a clip in Sheffield of a van. I think it was like a council van or something. Was driving down this road. And as it went onto the black ice, it completely lost control because you can't really control your vehicle on black ice, and just slid straight into a post and then into another vehicle. So that's not the nice cold. That one, that's when it gets really cold on a night, or ice freezes over pretty severely, and you get black ice, and it's not a good thing. Especially walking, and it's a disaster. Thanks Beans on Toast for joining. Gotta go now. Yeah, we'll be wrapping things up very shortly. But I think it's been a nice stream. So, yeah. Just finishing it off there. It's gone cold. Have you seen the mean zonal win from the ECM? No. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right. Mean zonal... Right. Everyone don't panic. Panic stations. Can you do ensembles? Yep. Will do, Mohammed, after this. Wow. Right, that's been a big change. Remember, a reversal is 0. Do not panic, everyone. This is only the ECM. It's got it wrong many times. But that is good. Look at this. Around the 12th of February, we see a big plunge of runs. Down to around 10 metres per second is the average. We have a lot of runs going into reversal. A sudden stratospheric warming, which would make things very interesting into the final week of February. Could we see a beast? No. Could we see a beast from the Send It Yeast? into the final week of February. If that came off, wow, that'd be interesting. But zonal winds are going down. Lots of runs going into reversal around the 10th to the 15th of February there. Wow, that's pretty interesting. Doesn't look great at that stage, but if you compare to 4 days ago, look at that change. Above average with the zonal winds. That's the average line, is that red? Above average to, just a few days later, a big plunge to below. Oh, sorry, weaker than average zonal winds. If we get them into reversal, that is a technical SSW, and that's when things could get interesting into the final week of the month. That is very good. Which model do you favour? ECM would be my favoured model. Have you checked them? Yeah, I was just waiting for them to update, Henry. I haven't looked at them yet, but I will do now. Gas. Do you think it will snow on Southwest? Yes, could do. Next week. Later next week, Thursday or Friday, would be my guess if there is any snow around for you. Walking King, nice name. Nice to see some new names in the chat, as I always say. Winter of 2010, I'll never forget. A lot of people will never forget that winter. But yeah, this line is very interesting. If more runs going down here, which definitely are, if this continues to gather pace, we could be looking at a pretty interesting February. Could we be setting up a proper cold spell? I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything, but it does look quite interesting. Also, wouldn't be great for March if the zonal winds continued in reverse. Get a proper block. That would be a pretty devastating for March for some people. But again, it's a long way off. Again, might not even happen. You could give Thomas Schaffenack a run for his money. You're presenting his top-notch cheers. I don't think it's that good. It's all over the place. Hardly prepared. Have you checked? I know that message is funny, Matt, innit? But I'm not reading it out. Darth is in the chat. Hello to you, Darth. I'll check the ECM updated ensembles now. Are they a flip or a flop? Let's all predict. Right. Oh, okay. Okay, this is looking all right. Yes. Right, so the ECM run, the operation, this is looking good. All right. This is Central England, by the way. Central West Midlands, if you don't know where Birmingham is. Which, you know, some of you might know. I don't know. I'd hope you do. But Birmingham, Central West Midlands, this is looking okay. Cold plunge around the 26th of Jan to the 27th. Luckily, there's a number before both of them, so we don't have to say the numbers. And then we're remaining below average until the 30th. There are a lot more colder runs than there were before. Getting down to that -10 line is a threshold for deep cold. Very cold air in the UK. We're getting down to that just about. So very interesting there. Lot better than it was before. If we have a look at the midnight run to compare up to the 30th, can see that run, that the line is lower than here. So what does it get down to here? Let's just use one date as a guide. You can't see it here, but -3.8 on January the 30th. Comparing that to here, January the 30th, -2.9. So that is an upgrade of about a degree. That's quite a big change from the ECM ensembles. That's an upgrade. That's an upgrade. Stephen Whitfield, no cold or beast from the east. Well, you might be getting proven wrong and packing your bags in a minute. You never know. That doesn't look too bad. Jokes aside, channel is sick and you are not annoying, making you an internet unicorn. Thanks. Yes, cheers, I do. I thank you. Stephen, how do you know that? I'm just saying, how do you know that? You don't know it, buddy, yet. Exactly, James. How do you know it? I don't see mild in there. I mean, if you're calling that mild, then I think you're on the wrong channel because... what is there? 2 runs? There's at least 3 days of cold there, from what I can see. 3 days for Birmingham. If we go further north, southwards to London, even at London, it's getting down to -5. That is cold for the UK. There could be snow around for the UK. That is encouraging. So I'm not sure how that can be considered not cold, because, you know, I've not said beast from the east at all, although I have hinted it at the end of Feb, but there you go. That's for another day. But yeah, there's no mild runs in there. There's a couple at the end, I'll give you that, towards the end of Jan. But it's a long way off. It's a long way off. Unreliable. Anything beyond day 7 is unreliable at the best of times, let alone in this. So, yeah, I don't buy that, sorry. I don't buy that. Which of the models is best at forecasting sea effect snow? Good question. None of them. got to be honest, none of them are any good. None of them are any good, to be honest. That's crazy. You are brutal. Absolutely brutal. I could have a brief cold, then a bit warmer, then could turn very cold. Interesting. Yeah, that is not out of the question. Blocking is not going to go away very much. Let's have a look, actually. This is the last thing I'll look at on this stream. It's been a really good stream, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. My rambling on and annoying people. Oh, my word. Right. This chat is wild. Right. Right, NAO forecast. This, if it's negative, is good for blocking and colder weather. At the end of the chart, by the 3rd of Feb, this takes us to around we are neutral. But there is a big split. Some runs keeping us negative, some runs keeping us positive, which is, again, why I say you can't forecast anything beyond at least the 27th of January, because we have a big split. We've got some positive NAO runs and some negative NAO runs. If they're negative, they're going to, hopefully, keep the cold hanging on. If they go positive, they're going to return the Atlantic westerlies. And to be fair, if you look at it, a lot of them are just keeping it around neutral. That would not exactly favour Atlantic westerlies. Just saying. Moving on to the AO forecast. If they're both negative, that's a good sign for cold. Now, this is encouraging because, as you can see... yeah, I've just... yeah. AO index. AO! That's what the kids say, innit? Down with the kids. AO! Very negative with the AO at the moment. And then into the start of February, still remaining very negative. Again, indicating blocking patterns persisting into start of Feb, increased chances of colder weather. Models struggle to hold on to cold. They will always try and return to the default pattern of mild southwesterlies, which models love and everyone else loves, of course. Not me, though. But if we're both negative, we're looking pretty good, right? So, watch this space. Yeah, watch this space. We'll see. Will it snow in Cardiff? Down with the kids, bro, you're 18. I know. Yeah, I'm not down with the kids. It's meant to be a joke, pal. I don't mean I'm not having a go, by the way. I'm just saying that that's what they say, innit? Down with the kids. Jeff, is that you? It's not me. I can tell you that now. Wouldn't be like him. Jeez, I've seen them post. Watch this space. Oh my goodness. That's not me. That's not me. It's been good catching up on all the important charts. Nice one for doing the stream. Thank you, Dodgy Banana, for tuning in. He said, man, it's everyone panic. Hello, Tesco, I need 300 breads. Oh, no, don't say that. That'll actually happen at some point, I'm sure. Yeah. But thank you all for tuning in to this stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and found it informative. I do think it will turn colder for all areas from around Wednesday next week. There will be snow around. It's just a matter of where, of course, and how long will the cold last. It's tough to say. For the north, it'll hang on until at least the middle of Feb, I'd say. Further south, southern England, we can't see it lasting longer than the end of the month. But cold into the start of Feb, middle of Feb, I'd say into the latter half of Feb, is looking increasingly likely. If you want to join the Discord, James has put the link in the chat. Cheers to the moderators for moderating as always, but I don't think they've had too bad of a job today because it's not been too bad. It's been a pretty nice chat. It's been a decent stream, and we've hit 3.8k subs. What more could you want? Yeah. But yeah, if you want to join the Discord and chat along away with us, then the link's in the chat. Thank you all for joining in. Yeah. Thanks for a great stream. Have a good night, everyone. Cheers, Laura, for tuning in. Great stream as always. And it's all you lot that make it, innit, with your funny comments. Called Feb perfect with Ben's winter forecast. I said an unsettled Jan, so that's gone well, hasn't it? It's gone straight down the toilet with my forecast. In summer, luckily I didn't make one at the start of winter. So yeah, see you all in the next one. Why is the snow so big? Because it never happens. Cheers, Earth, as well. Cheers, moderators, as well.